We're ready.
Okay. It's 6:04 p.m. and I call this meeting to order at this time. We will have roll call. Ms. Ana Maria Perez.
Present.
Mr. De Hoyos.
Present.
Mr. Rick Perez.
Present.
Mr. Mendez.
Present.
Mr. Jerry Perez.
Present.
Mr. Ochoa.
Present.
And myself. I do declare that we have a quorum at this time. At this time, we will go ahead and have our invocation.
Heavenly Father, as we gather today to conduct matters of business for AGUA said, may you give us your guidance, wisdom, knowledge to make the best decisions for the ratepayers and employees. Lord, let this meeting be productive and let your presence surround us today. We ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. At this time, we will have the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public comments, Mr. Salinas?
Madam President, members of the board, we do not have any public comments.
Okay, we'll go ahead and get started with number 2, the minutes. Approval of minutes for the November 12th, 2024 special board meeting, and approval of minutes for the November 21st, 2024 special board meeting.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Ochoa and a second by Mr. Perez. Jerry Perez. Everyone in agreement, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. General Manager's report.
Yes, Madam President, with us we have Mr. Partney, financial consultant, that will go over December financials and fourth quarter investment report.
Good evening, Madam President, board members. We're gonna present the December financial in a February board meeting because we are still paying the disbursement, and December is our end of our fiscal year, so that way board can get the full expense report because we're still making the checks out and closing the year for the December. But we will go to the investment report that we have on a second one. And the investment reports, as board can look at that, we have earnings through our checking account at LSNB, Lone Star National Bank, and primarily with the Techstar investment pool. As of December 31st, that rate was 4.23 on a Techstar investment pool. But primarily, if you look all the way on a second page of the report, that gives you a snapshot of whole year, that the total earnings through interest is $633,865. So AWASA, through all the monies that we have in bank, with the Lone Star, with our escrow funds, with the investment pool in Techstar, and our CDs, our total earning from January 1st, 2024 to December 31st, 2024 is $633,865. So we are like more than $500,000 of earnings through the interest. If you have any questions.
Does anyone have any questions?
Is it going back into the general fund, that interest, or where's it going to?
Interest is still staying on those accounts to accumulate more interest. So we are not taking back currently the interest back in general fund, because when you have interest, you will get the cumulative earnings. Yes.
Of interest, okay.
So we still have the CD noted.
Yes, the CD that is still there and is maturing on April 2025 in next 3 months.
Does that money eventually go into the general fund, or no? It stays there forever and ever.
CD, when it mature, is go to the general fund back, but the Techstar is a saving account investment pool, so that one have no fixed time. We can, when we need it, we can just withdraw. If we submit a request today, they will submit us tomorrow. But we leave it there because it get 4.23% interest versus our bank offer around 2%.
Oh, very good, very good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
President.
The next item, sir. Letter B, fourth quarter investment report.
Yeah,
Is
that's
that
the one
part
we
of what you
covered,
already
yes.
reported?
Yes.
Okay, letter C then, drought contingency plan.
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, on the attachments, again, I have both the history of the Amistad Reservoir and the Falcon Reservoir. So on the Amistad Reservoir, I have the historical levels. So as of now, we're at 26.4, and we look about a year ago. So it has been steady from 26.6 a year ago to now 26.4. As far as Falcon Reservoir, as of now, we're at 14.4% full. And if we look at the historical data, a year ago we were at 16.5, and of course today we're at 14.4. The average total from both is at 20.4, meaning that we're above the threshold that we had before. Right now, as you all know, we're at 18% for stage 3 for no development allowed. Before we were at 20, so as of now we already surpassed the 20%. It hasn't rained much. I mean, we can see that probably those levels will be depleting here as we go through the months. This is for informational purposes.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Salinas. Letter D, workshop on the TechStart Veterans Boulevard project.
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, we brought this item to let the board know that we're going to be scheduling either this week or next week a workshop, of course, with the board of directors, and also we would like to invite City of Palmview and as well as the county and LNG and probably TxDOT to see if there's any questions from the community and of course from the board of directors and the City of Palmview, so everybody can be on the same page as far as progress that AGUA has made on the design plans and where we're at with TxDOT and the county and of course the City of Palmview.
The designs are gonna be available for the city to review also with us?
Yes, we can definitely send them a copy.
Sure.
But we would like to, from the board, to know which date will be best, and I know it'll be best in an afternoon, probably after 5 or after 6.
Sure.
So that we can have a public workshop to go over this important project, of course, for the City of Palmview and for us, as far as AGUA said.
So it'll be a joint with City of Palmview or just us?
It'll be a workshop. It'll be open to the public because there's going to be probably more than 3 board directors present. Regardless, it's going to have to be.
But in terms of City of Palmview, would they represent as a city as a whole, or they're just going to be here as a part of the?
They can be as a representative, or they can be as residents as well. So I just wanted to.
But they're not calling a meeting.
It's a courtesy, right?
As a courtesy, yes.
But they're
sir.
not calling a meeting also to be with us. They're
No.
Okay.
It's just something that we wanted to. I know that we discussed it with the board a few meetings ago that we needed to present this project to the City of Palmview and of course to the citizens as well, to let them know what's going on with the project. And we'll have, I plan to have LNG, probably representative probably from the county and TxDOT to see if there's any questions beyond the design that AGUA Special Utility District is working on.
The project is supposed to be let go when?
Well, they have changed.
At this point, they're saying late in the summer,
Late,
This to 25?
2025,
Wow, okay.
September, August.
Pretty, comes up pretty quick.
Yeah.
So if the board, I mean, we're probably looking towards the end of this week or maybe next week, whichever schedule best fits the board. And we're thinking a 6 p.m. Workshop meeting so that the board members can attend. I don't know if any input on the date, Dr. Villarreal or any members of the board, towards the end of the week or early next week.
Probably better next week.
Next week?
We're gonna meet on Wednesday.
Yes, we're gonna meet internally Wednesday with Sam's engineering to go over the project. But we can definitely do it on a Monday, Tuesday, next week, 6 p.m. Would that work for the?
Yeah. For the city. You talk to the city also.
Yeah.
We'll talk to the city.
And where's it gonna be, here or where?
Here.
Oh, here.
Well, I plan to do it here unless the board desires to do it at the City of Palmview. that's something that we can accommodate for the
Well,
board.
let's decide now. Do we want to do it on Tuesday or Monday? Is
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I just don't know, the next Tuesday, the 21st, is the second Tuesday of the month. I don't know what Palmview's,
City commission,
is.
I
Oh.
think, yeah, get back with us on dates.
Yeah, let us know what,
First and third Tuesday.
that way it doesn't interfere with what they're,
Okay, so we can leave it as early next week, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday.
Yeah, see if they're available,
Monday,
if they're not
Tuesday, or
having a
Wednesday,
city
whatever's
meeting.
Monday, Tuesday, we're at 6 p.m. will be fine, as far as the time?
whenever will be okay for them as well.
Okay.
I know they have meetings on Tuesdays, so anything on a Monday will work. I know,
Monday, Wednesday.
I mean, how they change it, but it's been on Tuesdays.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's the first and the third Tuesday.
So we can go over the design, what is it gonna take, and then the coordination that we're having with LNG and TxDOT as well.
Okay,
County.
very good. Okay, letter E, North Water Treatment Plant Construction Application.
Yes, on this, Madam President, members of the board, as you all know, we apply for the 2025 Drinking Water State Revolving Fund. The application has been submitted, was submitted Friday before 5. Actually, the 10th was the deadline, and this is for the construction dollars of $31,250,000. I just wanted to inform the board that the application has been submitted to Texas Water Development Board.
Nice, thank you.
Okay, letter F, RFQ, RFP update.
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, as far as the RFP proposals that we have out there, we have an energy consultant services RFQ that is due January 28th, 2025. And then we have the request for qualification / proposals relating to the public-private partnership for desalination infrastructure. And this is also due on the 28th. We have been receiving questions from different vendors. We plan to reply as a whole to all of them, the reply for all the questions. We're gonna put an end to the questions for the 17th. So we're not gonna receive any more questions after the 17th, which is on Friday. So after that, we'll submit as a whole the answer to all the questions from all the different vendors to everybody together. And then, of course, we'll wait for the package, and from there, we'll plan to either have a presentation as a committee or have them come and present to the board as a whole.
Sure.
Correct. So, the committee, didn't we discuss that? That the committee was gonna go ahead and decide on maybe the top 3 based on information that was submitted, and then from there, those would get to do a presentation before the board.
Yes, definitely, we can work on that, and we have an agenda item to move the meeting of the February board meeting in order for us to meet with the committee and then decide, and then have the best 3 or the top 3 contenders
Correct.
as far as the RFQ qualified vendors, so that they can present to the board for both, for the energy consultant and for the PPP
Very good,
project.
very good, yes. I know we had discussed it, but I wanted for the other board members to hear this information.
Okay.
Okay. Moving on to number 4, the district engineers report. Letter A, Nat Bank Technical Assistance Agreement, the sewer hookups.
Yes, Madam President, here with us we have Sames, Mr. Christopher Hinojosa, that will give us a summary on the NatBank Technical Assistance Agreement.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board. First and foremost, Happy New Year. If I didn't get a chance to tell you, Happy New Year. Glad to see everyone back healthy. So to kick off, the NatBank Technical Assistance Agreement. For this project, we usually base our percentage completed based off of the contractor invoices. So as a heads up, I left it at 77, which is the same as last month. However, they have been working, and we estimate 85%. So from last meeting, what they worked on is they finished 2 more yard line connections, and they have already finished all the sewer services, the street repairs. So at this point, all that's left is just the yard line connections. And that's pretty much the only update here.
Which connections?
2 yard line connections. So if you look on Acevedo Lane on the map I
That
provided,
one?
those 2 homes on Acevedo Lane.
That's it?
Yes, just those 2. And so now that they're done with the street repairs, they're going to focus purely on the yard lines. And in my opinion, they should be able to finish on schedule.
Question. I know that Brayfogle, and I know this was before you all came on board, that street is really bad. Brayfogle heading north, towards Garcia Middle School from the frontage, Expressway 83, going towards 495. Now, I know that before, the City of Palmview was asking that AGUA repair that street, and our response was that it was tied up in litigation because that is a street that, right? And so they've already broken that street a couple of times, and had to re-break it in because something was leaking and things like that. Do you know if is that still the same issue, or?
Yes, as far as AGUA Special Utility District, we have not done any repairs, street repairs,
Right.
on any of the areas, especially on the G section, which is the
That's
one
it, yeah.
that is
In
subject to the litigation. Now, that portion is not part of the actual TxDOT winding section.
Right.
Correct? So that's something that I'll have to bring it to of course, to the board to entertain, either
Yeah.
to assist the City of Palmview on the street roadway repairs. But however, the litigation hasn't finalized yet.
And so, just because we're asked, I happen to live on that street, and so it feels like a roller coaster. My husband's drinking coffee and it spills all over because it's, it's really bad. But other than, we tolerate it, but other neighbors are asking what is gonna be the situation once the litigation ends, because Palmview did pave some streets that were broken up by the sewer. They incurred that expense, because they were being, I guess, kind of pressured by their constituents, in repairing those streets, so they took it upon themselves to repair it. Now, that's one of the streets that I know is really bad. There's a couple of other, I don't know if the City of Palmview has reached out or have fixed those others, but this one hasn't been, but I knew it was because of the litigation.
We can definitely look into a probable cost estimate, and we can bring it to the board.
So these 240 some collections, that's what's pending? We still need another 300 collections pending, right? Or is this
This is phase 2.
This is it for this phase.
is it for
This is for the south of Bensten 83. I believe the ones that you're referring to are the ones that are north of the ones that didn't get connected, which are
So
around
south-
240 connections pending.
so south of Biz 83 is the phase 2?
Yes,
So which is LNG.
and that was the LNG
This
portion.
is the LNG portion.
That was an LNG portion.
Okay,
yes.
and then Shoeback is on.
But this is a separate funding through.
I got it. Yeah, I got it. But what's on litigation is through OG over here. I got
Yes.
it. I got
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
So I just wanted to put that in because I'm asked that question. If, again, once we settle or whatever happens with the litigation, that's gonna be something that we need to look at.
Yeah, no, we
That's
can
great.
definitely assist with it.
Thank you, and it's like a major transport for the buses,
Yeah.
because they do go through there to get to, Garcia Middle School Memorial, right there.
But are those lines under, for realignment, those lines or not?
No,
Those
lines
lines are,
constructed
they're set
correctly.
forever there.
Right,
Yeah.
so if anything, it's just working the
They're
section
working
above
fine.
it.
Yes, on Brayfogle, yes.
Yeah, they're not part of this project, the Nat Bank, but they're
Yeah.
part of the bigger sewer project.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's not gonna be no, digging or
So
anything?
technically, they could repair it.
They could repair it.
Like, they're not going to come in and wanna, check lines.
Yeah, correct. It should just be the street, to my
It
understanding.
should just be the
Okay,
street.
so,
This portion, the Brayfogle portion, unfortunately, right, connects to the same portion
Right.
that we need to fix.
But those street, are we responsible to fix, what Ms. Betty is saying, that they're all
I
messed
will need
up?
to look at the history, but at one point, I believe there was repairs jointly with AGUA and City
and then
of
they had
Palmview.
to re-dig
Maybe
it up.
there's something that we can, talk to the City of Palmview, see if we can, if the board allows, right?
And I know what their response is gonna be, because they've paved so many other streets that they feel like were destroyed because of the sewer project and never really fixed by us. They took on that responsibility. They're gonna say, like, doing half is gonna be hard, because we've already invested over here.
Worth a try.
I mean,
Yeah,
in the
it is. I
beginning,
mean, having them talk about it.
in the beginning of the sewer project, my understanding that was gonna happen in terms of, the streets were gonna be repaid after the sewer projects were done, and it's, whatever agreement was done back then, I remember, but then everything just, but that was the
That's-
agreement, every sewer project that was gonna be done, it was gonna be covered, replaced it with, the City of Palmview, and there should have been, not,
money
by
ran
now, but obviously it did
The
happen.
money ran out, right?
On that front, yes, the money, right, but there's funding, left on, retainage through the Water Development Board. It's just a matter of finalizing the litigation and see how we can, recuperate some of that, retainage that was left on the project.
And that might be something that we also, when we've got the City of Palmview there, is to kind of talk about that street. And see if we can, like you said, it's worth a try to say, can you meet us there in the middle, we go half, whatever. That we're making an effort to get that, street repaired.
Pending we get those funds.
Mhm.
But we're gonna put the news on our next, we can't afford it.
That street was done, but it was not like highway approved and when it was done, and then.
And
when
it's
somebody
got
digs-
I mean,
It's-
it's horrible.
It's
it is.
horrible.
But, if we get that funding, like you were saying, that retention, that, there be some type of funding available, then we could,
Yeah, there's some funding, that was left over from the project. I don't recall, the
Yeah.
amount, but there's something that was left from the project, but we need to close the project
Project,
in
yeah,
order for us
and
to
the litigation, before we can get it.
get that funding. Right.
Okay, thank you. I know that kind of, but I needed to put that in.
Any other questions? Are we good? Thank you for that explanation. Letter B, Geographic Information Systems, GIS, and mapping.
Yes, so for the geographic information system and mapping, we just wanted to represent this item to the board. As last board meeting, I let you all know that it was completed. So still same situation, but just wanted to supplement that with 2 maps to show the end product. So you guys can kind of see what it looks like as far as on y'all's end. So this one's all pretty much wrapped up, and with that, we'll be, once everything's coordinated and ready, kick off with phase 2. So we can start catching up the district with all the water lines, sewer, and get it all caught up to date.
Nice. Is
Okay.
this from Google Maps?
This is from the
Or
software
Google
that
Earth?
we use.
Or
The
is it
software that we
software you
use,
use?
the
Okay.
GIS.
And is it compatible with Google Earth that they're able to pull that up
Yep.
right away? Okay. Nice, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Letter C, SH 495, Veterans Boulevard,
Yes.
Utility Relocation and Adjustments Project.
Yes, so for the Veterans Boulevard Utility Location Adjustment Project, we're still at the 90% mark right now. With this meeting that we're gonna have with Robert and the staff here on Wednesday, that'll be pushing us up to the 95%, and if all goes well, we'll be finishing up to 100%. We've already given LNG and TxDOT a heads up that we'll send them something soon, so they'll sit down, review with their final comments, that'll push us to that 100%. And as a heads up, also wanted to let you all know for that workshop that we might have with Palmview, I've been talking with the city manager, so it seems like it'll be the city manager, and he's gonna just get some documents from their attorney, just to have ready as far as the things they're gonna be looking for on the agreement between AGUA and City of Palmview.
Okay. Any questions? Are we good?
All right, thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for that information. Number 5, discussion and possible action on approval of property casualty and workers' compensation policies.
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, for this item, we have Mr. Greg Clement with the Clement Agency online. Can you hear us, Mr. Clement?
Yes, I can hear you clear.
Okay, and then we have also Mr. Pierre Newkirk with Newkirk as support for this item. They'll be going over the attachment. There's an attachment within that item, going over the cost as far as the property and casualty and workmen's compensation policies as far as insurance goes.
Thank you, Mr. Salinas. Good evening, Madam President, board members. My name is Pierre Newkirk, Greg Clements on the phone. We're gonna go and discuss you all's renewals with Philadelphia Life and what we did find out there. I'll let Greg take over. Hold on 1 second, Greg, real quick. Greg, give me 1 second. You would have had 2 different handouts, giving you an explanation and some, giving you the valuations of the properties along with the dollar per dollar for the costs of what we're discussing.
Oh, they're in the back.
It's a separate, it was a separate handout, item, number 5.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, Greg, go ahead.
Yeah, well, when you work with property insurance underwriters, they look at things as a rate per $100 amount. If you take your 87 million and divide it by your premium, your premium divided by your value, you've got a rate of about 20 cents per $100 amount. And when we go to, the open market and try to get coverage for 87 million, a lot of times we'll have to layer that coverage between multiple insurance companies. One company may take 10%, another 20, so on until we get to 100%.
The-
That scenario is not going to give us the best rate. The best rate would be one carrier providing the entire amount and having their own agreements on the backside to pass off some of that risk.
Yeah.
The next carrier that would probably make sense that would write that for us would be a company called Ambrose. And we talked with them, their lowest rate they could offer us would be somewhere around 30 cents per hundred, which means if you did the math, you'd be paying an additional 86,000 in property premium. So as bad as, rate increases, what's in the market, you guys are getting a very good rate for your property insurance. And the other big ticket item is your automobile insurance. The current
Hey, Greg, before you move on, I mean, on number 3 in Goodwin, there's a $6 million wastewater plant that was done back in '95. Which one is that one?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Here in the list that we're looking at, there's a wastewater, treatment plant that was done back in 1995. Which one is that? It says 492 Goodwin Road.
So all of these addresses that you're looking at are the properties that we're insuring?
Yes, but, which one is the, Goodwin, the wastewater plant that was done back in 1995?
That's a.
What is that?
That's a water plant. Mr. President.
Now, the wastewater plant is wrong?
It's the 492 plant.
Okay, and then the one on Pinto down, which is number 19,
The water
that's on
tower.
Pinto Road.
The one on Pinto Road, it says it's under Palmview, but El Pinto Road is in Sullivan.
No, it's here, it says water tower. On 19, you're looking at 19?
Yes, yes.
One on Pinto
It's
Road.
water tower.
Yeah,
The water
it's
tower.
in Sullivan, that's the incorrect.
Oh, yeah.
city.
But it's under
That is
Palmview,
correct.
that's my question.
It's the Benavides.
Yeah.
Should be the Benavides, elementary water tower.
Yeah, who reviews this information? Who puts it together? Because we need, I mean, there's no overstated in this building, because we've been charged on the amount of value, right?
On the
the
square
building
footage,
limits.
square footage and,
Yeah.
yes, that's correct.
Who's reviewing all this?
As far as the property, the
Right.
property.
This-
On our side.
this paper.
We do send it to the property casualties.
Ah, okay.
But property casualties, who?
But the building limit and the actual contents will not change based on the address. We just need to correct the address on that.
Yeah, because if something happened, I bet the insurance company is gonna say, hey.
Find a
It's
technicality.
old.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Yeah, it's old, and how come you're,
They would let us.
So who is the property and
so much
casualty
money
that
for it.
reviews this?
That'd be us, but we're getting the list from you all.
Yeah, so who from our department or from here?
Yes, Albert is assisting me on all the properties and casualties for this, all the addresses.
So if you're gonna be correcting number 19, Mr. Salinas, number 18 needs to be corrected as well.
Yes,
Again, it says El Pinto Road.
yes. That is correct.
And that's the pumping station?
Yes.
And I think even 25, like it has that address that's Cenizo Street and it says Sullivan right next to it, but in the city, it's coming in as Palmview.
Yeah, it's State Palmview for some of the addresses.
Yeah, and
I
all
mean,
the
it's,
ones.
it's,
I'm
it's
sorry,
there
go
and
ahead.
right next to the street address, but it needs to be in the right column. Cause it's on that street address, it says Sullivan there, but it really needs to reflect for the city, it's Sullivan.
And,
Does the lift station cover, for example, there's a lift station for 200 something, does it cover the motor? Or the lift station is only a little shack with the motor? What does it cover, the 200? Huh?
Depends on the nature of the.
Of the disaster?
actual- Yes, on what happened to the actual
A burn motor, will that cover it?
burn motor.
Because that's the only thing can happen, other than it's
Right.
only, it's,
Not for
Theft.
normal wear and tear. If there was a
But-
barrel on it due to a storm or whatever the case
Yeah,
scenario.
I was thinking of lightning.
what are we insuring? I mean, there's a lot of money there, that's,
So a flood as an example, lightning strikes,
I remember lightning
wind and hail come in, they blow off the roof, then that will destroy that motor, then that's when we would cover. But
Mr.
just because
Salinas,
it burns out of old age
No.
or usage, et cetera, we're not gonna cover that.
No.
That's your
Mr.
normal
Salinas,
wear
the
and tear.
Guadalupe's Flores,
It's Sullivan. I was
they're all,
looking into
they're
that.
all Sullivan.
Yes,
City.
that is correct.
It doesn't say it on here, but it's,
That's the wastewater.
and it's listed under Palmview.
That's the wastewater, yes.
Yes.
That is correct.
I guess, is that a mailing address that gets sent over here? That's probably what it is. I don't know. I mean, it looks.
Could be.
It looks like it's Excel spreadsheets, or it gets dumped in a different cell, so it could be that's the address, this is why it reflects Palmview versus Sullivan City, or.
It's a transfer. I'll check with Albert just to verify on the cities, but basically the address is correct. It's just the actual city. It's supposed to be Sullivan.
Well, I was gonna say, what reflects, based on, what, 39 sites, is there something else that reflects for as a tax receipt or something like that we reference 39 actual sites in terms of insurance versus what we owe, what AGUA owes, or is there, what reflects in terms of the 39, what document do we know that's 39 locations, rather?
Are you all giving us the address and what we're actually insuring?
I understand, but in terms of us,
Oh,
Like, how do we find the properties?
yeah, I mean, we're based on whatever we have internal here, I'm assuming.
like the solar panels, we don't even, they work, we insure them.
No.
600,000.
That is correct.
But, if a lightning hits it, it didn't work anyway.
They were not working with,
Why can't we sell those?
Does insurance has to cover all of them, right?
Yeah, we're gonna
That's
cover them all.
It has to cover everything. We cannot remove.
right, yeah, you can't pick
We
and
have to-
choose.
Yeah, it's all or.
We should be able to pick and choose.
Well, you do.
So the question is, are we able to remove a property from to be insured or not?
Yeah, you can, but it's on your own risk. If you're gonna wanna, say, for example, but not off of the liability, off of the product itself, yes. So if, for example, I'm gonna take one of your backhoes and I'm gonna go ahead and take it off your insurance for coverage. But that backhoe is no longer going to be viable to be able to be used, covered by us. If you're gonna take that vehicle and use it on your own, then that's perfectly fine. If there is a
Liability.
cause that you all cause damage, you're self-insuring yourself.
Yeah. Can you give us a breakdown of each item cost, or you cannot do that?
No.
For example, how much would be all the lift stations together?
Hey Greg, can we get them a cost by cost basis between the difference of one specific lift station versus another, or another, a pump versus one that's located in Palmview
An
versus
itemized
one that's
breakdown of-
located on the other side of 107?
Yes, I don't think that would be a problem. I'll get that from the insurance carrier.
That would be good.
Yeah,
Like an
because-
itemized, which
An
property is
itemized,
costing
an
us?
itemized bill for each individual location?
Have we ever used this coverage?
I don't think so. In the life of the history, we never,
Auto you have.
Yeah, auto, yes.
yeah, we know.
But property.
Hey Greg, we haven't had any property claims, have we?
Yes, we had through Hurricane,
Yeah.
It was a storm, no?
The February storm, that freeze?
The antennas broke there in South Florida, by Florida Elementary.
Hannah,
Hurricane.
Which one?
Hurricane Hannah.
Yeah, but what property was the one that we, had a claim on? Was it in a building, a structure?
Yes.
Yeah, the one here, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that, yeah. It was Hurricane Hannah.
We had about 8 buildings that got damaged.
Was the roof and it was the antenna.
So one was 33,800, another one was 6,400.
questions?
So what's the recommendation?
Okay, I got a question on the cars. Were you going there? I apologize for stopping you.
That was gonna be next.
Okay, sir.
I'll take your
Bless you.
Excuse me.
On
Thank
the
you.
cars, I was looking at the year, I'm looking here, new cost, like 2012, 2006, 10,000. I mean, we know we're not gonna get a 2011, 350, 30,000, 2012, 30,000. Is that the price that we should be getting, or in case there's an accident?
No, sir, there's two ways to write physical damage on auto. One is to say the actual cash value, like for instance, unit number 6 is $39,305. It's the cost new, that's what you pay for it new. If you were to write down what they call like a stated amount or actual cash value, you would say what you could sell it for today. And let's say that number's $10,000, and we would list it that way. The other way, the way that Philadelphia does it, is they do it cost new, and then they have their rates step down each year for 6 years, to give you a lower rate on that vehicle, because they're not gonna pay $39,000.
Yeah, no, they're probably gonna pay anything. What about on the collision compensation? Can it be $1,000 instead of 500 or something like that? So we can save us money on the premium? Would they help us?
Yeah, actually, initially, this is what we were gonna get to deductible, and I just realized that it says $2,500 still. That needs to be updated to $2,500. That's what we had on the actual proposal for the automobiles. Your physical damage loss is for $2,500.
Would you change on the premium, or that was just a typo? On the,
It's correct on the proposal, but the list of the vehicles is incorrect, and it needed to be updated. Last year it was $500, this year it's $2,500. And
Well-
we ran into a situation because we had a few claims on the auto, and the carrier, was really considering not giving us a renewal for the automobiles, but we went back and tried to work out the best deal that we could for you with that. And so what we came up with was increasing the deductibles on the comprehensive and collision from $500 to $2,500. And there's a $10,000 deductible for liability claims. The, condition that they also had is they wanted you to have vehicle monitoring system, GPS and cameras and that kind of stuff. I talked with Albert today, I didn't realize it, but you guys have already installed those there on all your vehicles. So, that's a good thing that's already been implemented. I think you can see that the management is being proactive in trying to reduce some of these claims. In first three, I don't think that there's anything really that bad going on with the account. But if you get in a fender bender, you know, here comes the attorneys. Yeah, especially if you're a business, they're going to
right.
try to run it up as far as they can.
Of course.
Did you go out for bids on this one for several companies?
Yes. And in fact,
Yes, it did. And for the auto, because we didn't think they were gonna redo it, we hit everybody we could think of. We watched Travelers, Hartford, Liberty Mutual, Columbia, Chubb, Utica, Guard, Kemper. We talked with Progressive Insurance, they have a police department. Once you go past, 9 units with them, it goes to their police department. Progressive came back and said they would need probably about $4,200 a unit. The renewal that you have is 1,017.
per unit.
There's another, pardon me?
No, I'm just letting them, per unit is what they're currently paying now for the renewal.
Where is that item, or where's that number?
On that handout?
Which one, on that last one? Okay.
And NICO, which is a company that kind of
got that event.
What about on the finance agreement? I mean, say 18%, it's a little bit high. We cannot bring that
That's
down.
capital, that's not us, that's got nothing to do with us.
I think they'll, try to get that reduced from capital. I don't know, it should be a little bit lower.
Yeah, I think it's a little high.
No,
Yeah. So, regarding the rate from the auto, you got a really good rate on there. But when you're doing composite rate, the insurance company can take a loss on one line and make profit on others. So that's one of the other reasons it's good. to have
What was last year's? Do you remember last year's?
sir, last year total that we paid is 246,000, and this year is 252,000, which is $6,000 difference. But if we include the finance fee, because last year also we finance in the fourth quarter,
Yes.
with the finance last year we paid, and whatever we gonna pay this year with the finance fee they propose, the difference would be $20,800. And the difference is because the $14,000 is a finance fee that they're gonna charge us, which is included in the packet, and the 6,000 is a hike compared to last year in the total packet. To pay the quarterly in a fourth quarter, so it's gonna be first down payment, and then it's gonna be 3 equal installment every quarter, which how we've been doing for some time now.
Yes, sir.
Seven total payments of 202. So the total difference from last year is how much, 20?
$20,800. So the $14,000 is because of a finance charge this year, and the $6,000 is a premium increase.
Okay, so why didn't we have that finance charge? That's something new for this year?
No, it's because the finance charge changes every time, but because we have to make we don't want to pay all amount
Right.
together, and we're gonna make in a,
You spread it out, yes. in
and they
payments.
it's like an interest that you
Right.
are paying to pay it quarterly instead of one lump sum payment.
And so last year we did a lump sum.
No, last year we did, we also did an interest, we also did a 4-quarter payment. But finance fee is not a fix every year. It's changed.
So what was that last year?
That one I can check, let me
Okay.
check on that, yeah.
No
I
worries.
think it would have been about 4 or 5 points less
Yes, compared to this year.
from last year to this year on finance charges, absolutely.
Yeah.
So the total premium would go up, if you include everything from last year to this year, is to 20,800, because
yeah.
this year total would be, that's the difference. We're gonna have the total for this year with the finance charges is $266. $266,800, and last year was $246,000. So it's $20,800 difference. Got it. And that's also including the finance charges for last year in that amount.
Okay.
Those numbers fluctuate year by year, or?
The interest, yes,
Yeah.
that's not nothing to us, that's just the bank.
Gotcha.
If you can just get me that finance
The
charge
check
for
for
last
last
year,
year,
just so that I
yes.
can see the two differences.
Yes, I'll provide that to Mr. Salim.
Thank you.
Okay. It's an action item.
Motion is an action.
Okay, where are we at? I'm sorry, I got lost. Number 5. So do we need a motion? We need a motion?
So move. Number 5.
Number 5, a motion by Mr. Perez. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Perez. Everyone in agreement, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you all very much. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 6, discussion and possible action on a non-standard service agreement for water to be submitted to Erica G. de la Torre for the costs related to water service for Hacienda La Lejua subdivision.
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, again, we have Sam's Engineering, which is our district engineer that will summarize the project. But basically, Ms. Erica G. de la Torre is proposing a commercial, one-lot commercial development on a 2.69 acre property south of Minnesota.
Hello again. So yes, this is Hasanela Leuja, or Lehua. Like you mentioned, it's a one-lot commercial subdivision. They're planning to use it for an event center, you know, just have families over for little parties, things of that nature. No pools, so just simple meters. At this point, we don't have any water model results yet, so we are pending that. But that's pretty much it. Is there any questions?
Where is it located?
Located, you should have a map with you. It's west of the intersection of West Military and South Abram.
Yes, sir.
Or by
It was
Ojo
a
Agua.
separate handout. I'm sure that is for the.
I got it.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Is it the local?
Sí.
Any questions?
So it's pending
Any
the water
questions?
model?
Correct.
No
At
questions.
this point, we don't have water model results.
Okay.
So if anything, it would be an approval contingent on the water model results.
Okay, yeah.
So moved.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. De Hoyos,
Second.
second by Mr. Ochoa.
Oh, Mr. Benz.
It was Mr. Pettis, I'm sorry, I just heard a voice. Oh, Mr. Mendez. Okay. Second by Mr. Mendez. Everyone in agreement, say aye.
I just,
Opposed?
if we can reflect that it pending the water model.
Pending the water model.
Yeah. Pending the water model.
Pending the water?
Model.
Okay.
Okay,
Section
Very good.
on page 4 says that they're still pending that.
Yes.
okay, we move on to number 7, discussion and possible action on a non-standard service agreement for water to be submitted to Juan Jose Garcia for the costs related to water service for Volcano subdivision.
So, good evening, Madam President, members of the board. So again, this is another subdivision. This one, we're looking at a total of 29 lots, 2 being commercial, 26 being single-family residential, and 1 being a common lot for detention purposes. This one is located in the City of Peñitas, inside the city limits, and we're looking at 17.5 acres, roughly. And this one is on the southwest corner of Mile 3 and Volcano Avenue. With this one, we did run water model results already, so they are good for domestic services. However, for fire protection, the pressures were not okay. We have prepared that in the report stating that clear. As AGUA Sub-District, we're not responsible
It'd be
for
the city.
fire protection, but we did just make that clear to
Charge to the city.
for the purchasing client,
You
correct?
think the county's gonna say something or the city?
They
They might
might,
say something.
they might, and if anything, I don't know personally, but if I had
Once
to
they get the
assume,
permits.
it might be special permitting, or if anything, a specific fire hydrant to show the pressure's lacking.
Okay,
So move.
second.
We have a motion by Ms. Perez and a second by Mr. Perez. At this time, is everyone is in agreement? Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Number 8, discussion and possible action on the change of date for the February 2025 board meeting.
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, as stated before, we are gonna be receiving RFQs and RFP proposals. We would like to have ample time to review those and have meetings with the committee and some members of the board before the next meeting. So we're proposing to change the February 2025 meeting on the 3rd to the 19th, to the 18th, because the 17th is President's
President's
Day
Day.
holiday. So we're proposing to change it from the 3rd to the 18th. That's our recommendation.
Does anyone have any questions on that? Are we all okay with that date? To the 18th of February, correct, sir?
To the 18th.
Mr. De Hoyos motioned and second by Mr. Perez. Is everyone in agreement? Say aye.
Aye.
Everyone opposed? Motion carries. Number 9, discussion and possible action approving retainer agreement with J. Peña Law Firm, PLLC, for professional legal services.
Madam, I would like to take this into executive session, please.
Okay,
I'd like to ask questions before then.
before executive session?
Yeah.
Okay.
If we can, because we can do a second and then put it to vote, but there's some questions I have on this.
Can we?
I agree with Ms. Perez.
With Ms.
Open
Perez?
discussion?
Yeah. My question is, I believe if I go back to our minutes on July 15th, we had agenda item to authorize the general manager to retain Jay Peña for professional legal service relating to existing litigation. This was passed, a contract was drawn up, and it was never signed. I just want to know why it was never signed.
By which party?
Well, it was approved. We had that agenda item, it was passed to retain. So my understanding is that we were already retaining services. But there's not a contract that was signed, or?
There was not a contract signed because that proposal, that was voted on without notification of the firm. So that was never negotiated with the firm, so there was a vote taken without negotiating with the firm.
Okay, Jaren, can you speak to that? I think, did you meet with Javi to discuss the contract?
He's trying to,
I was muted.
I'm trying to remember.
Honestly, I do not recall whether there was negotiation on the terms of that proposal. I believe those were terms that were proposed. I don't think that there was a negotiation with the J. Peña law firm regarding the terms that were proposed. Correct me if I'm wrong, though.
So nobody spoke about the contract
Correct, not prior to the vote.
prior to the vote?
Where it was.
It was board, yeah, but it was board approved to have everybody on a contract. I know on the other meeting on
No.
July 1st,
So I'm already on a contract.
Okay.
I've been on a contract since I think 2019-ish.
which is an engagement letter,
And
right?
Yes, and that's been ongoing. There was a proposal to change it to just litigation and report to the board, or to the general manager. That proposed new contract to replace the old contract is what was never negotiated. Those terms were never negotiated.
Okay, so what we board approved
It was never
is
discussed.
not discussed, but we had a contract that, again, they drafted, charged us probably time in preparing that contract. So time spent there. So again, just to kind of clarify, what is the difference in the services provided by your firm and BNS? Like, what's the difference there? Or it's a duplication of services?
No, it's not a duplication. Currently, Matt's firm represents AGUA on the special water issues and reports to the general manager. So they work hand in hand with the general manager. My contract is to represent the board itself, and it's on an as-needed basis hourly, and also to help with litigation. And that's one of the reasons why my bills have been some of the lowest bills, because I answer only to the board and I respond to board inquiries and represent the board at meetings.
Yeah,
I have a question. But does Jaron represent us as well?
Yes, both of us represent our side, but one answers to the general manager and the other one answers to the board.
You answer to the board, correct?
Like all this, we need to discuss it in executive session, guys. I think so like that we can be.
Well,
only
I just,
one.
because
I
I just
know
don't
what
want there to be a duplication of
No,
services.
that's why we need to discuss it in
And so
executive session.
I'm
don't
sure
know
our
what we're doing
ratepayers
here.
would like to know.
Yeah, and I think if you
It's
reviewed
not, doesn't look
Matt
right.
and Jaren's bills and you reviewed my bills, there isn't any duplication of work.
Well, and timely submission of bills would be good.
Yeah, so BNS is, under our contract, we're the general counsel of the district, and, our point of contact is the general manager, and, we handle the day-to-day operations and stuff that comes up, and, water rights petitions, and, our, the upcoming CCN stuff that we'll be doing with PUC and all the regulatory compliance and that kind of thing.
Right.
I don't think in the years that we've been, working with.
I've just never heard of a counsel for the board.
Bobby, is, our local
Cities don't.
counsel on, a number of various issues and provides, counsel, on those more as as the need arises. But yeah, I don't believe we've had a duplication, in the past or currently.
Yeah.
But just to point out, we have had a motion
Yeah.
to take, the item
And Jerry, just so that you were a former mayor, did you all have a separate attorney for the city council?
We had a general counsel for the city, but then should we needed additional counsel, obviously we would go out and.
Right, like the way we have with Chapman and Mr. Peña, like for special litigation, correct?
Which that's what Mr. Peña does, right?
That's part of it, yes.
Yeah.
Litigation and reporting.
But I've never heard of for the board.
Is that what's written down on your contract?
Yes, report to the board.
Okay, so maybe
Well, we'll
we need to
clarify
be
it.
confident, maybe
It's
with
been
the
going on
contract.
since 2019.
If we were to read the contract, maybe we would know.
No, I read it.
Okay.
I'll second the motion that Mr. Pettis saying.
I actually didn't want to take it into, I don't want to take it into executive session.
okay.
I say let's vote here. Let's vote here.
We need to discuss in executive because there's a
What
lot
was,
of issues.
what was that, Mr.?
I was just saying, there was a motion to take the item into executive.
There's a second.
I don't know that there was a second.
Yes.
Mr. Second, you said a vote on the motion.
All right.
Alright, so motion and a second. Motion,
Mr.
Mr.
Pettis
Pettis, the second.
I have a motion by
Rick Pettis.
Rick Pettis and a second by Jerry Pettis that we take this item into executive session at this time.
All in favor?
All in favor say aye. All opposed?
We're now in executive session at
We have to read number 10.
At 7:03, we will go into executive session at 7:03 p.m. I just love hitting that thing.
as per,
I didn't read the entire, executive session. I'm so sorry. As provided by the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code Sections 551.071, 551.091, the Board of Directors may convene in a closed executive session to deliberate, discuss, or consult regarding the matters listed below on proper motion and approval of any of the items set forth above. Under Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code Section 551.071, consultation with attorney. So at this time. No, we did everything backwards. Sorry, Jaron. You're there laughing.